an opportunity for, oh, there's our Zoom. That will be an opportunity for you to connect with other small businesses and medium-sized businesses in the area to find a place where you can maybe connect, share resources you have, or ask for resources. So when you register, you'll be asked that, and we'll be able to do some matchmaking at that event. And that will be at the chamber in person on the 11th. I think that is all of our announcements for now. So let's get into our panel today and talk about um, inventory, such a big thing. So today we're going to talk about different considerations that you need to think about with such large crowds, ordering extra inventory for those crowds without overdoing it and feeling like you wasted some of your stock there. So our first speakers are here from Amazon, and they're going to speak to some of the technologies and solutions and ideas that they've come up with over the years of being part of the business community, helping businesses plan for those big surges. So first, I'd like to start with introducing our presenters. We have Marcus, Ijamal, Kamran, and Bharat, who are going to share their slides with us. I will turn it over to all of you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you to the Seattle Chamber of Commerce for allowing us this opportunity to present today. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcus Schreiner, and I'm a partner territory manager at Amazon Web Services. I've been at AWS now for almost 5 years at this point, and I'm based locally out of our Seattle offices. We're really excited today to share a little bit more about the tools and solutions that are leveraged by both Amazon.com and the businesses we work with to predict demand, scale operations effectively, and prepare for demand surges from major events such as the World Cup. I'm joined today by one of our solutions architects, Ijamal Najimini Nova, who will be sharing a little bit more about these practices leveraged by Amazon, and by one of our partner organizations, Cloudtech, with speakers Kamran Adil and Bharat Bhate sharing more about a tool they've developed for large-scale events. With that, I'll go ahead and pass it to Ijamal to begin sharing and take it from here.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ajamal Najmedinova, and I'm a solutions architect here at AWS. And as we prepare for World Cup 2026 coming to our region this summer, I want to share how your business can handle demand surges and leverage technology to capitalize on this opportunity. And today we will explore how machine learning-based forecasting can help you maximize profits while minimizing inventory risks. So first, the World Cup can bring unprecedented demand surges that can make or break your bottom line, and small businesses face three critical challenge areas. First, demand challenges, including unpredictable traffic spikes, unclear purchasing factors, and limited market visibility. Second, inventory challenges such as overstocking risks or understocking cost and post-event surplus. As well as third, we have operations challenges, including infrastructure scaling needs, resource constraints, and cash flow management. Our machine learning-driven forecasting can help you effectively meet demand while managing these risks effectively. So as for the current landscape for forecasting, forecasting touches your life on a daily basis. It is what ensures grocery shelves are stocked, the packages are delivered on time, and wait times for your restaurant or delivery are short. And customers increasingly demand individualized goods and services. They want the services immediately and they want them cheaply. Providing variety and instant service requires more elaborate supply chains, but to do so efficiently requires accurate and agile demand forecasting. While all businesses use some sort of forecasting today, traditional methods cannot make use of increasing number of demand signals available today to forecasting an even more complex landscape. In fact, 1/3 of the total value created from artificial intelligence applications is expected to come from more accurate forecasting. And market leaders today are making investments to bring in flexible, accurate ML forecasting to all parts of their business. According to a recent study by McKinsey, organizations that have implemented machine learning forecasting techniques improved their forecasting accuracy by 20%. That translated into a 5% reduction in inventory cost and 3% increase in revenue. So forecasting is a science of prediction based on historical trends. As you can see in this graph, we examine historical data to predict what might happen and when. The goal is to minimize two types of costly errors, which is under forecast errors that result in missed opportunities and over forecast errors that result in wasted resources. Effective forecasting balances between these extremes. AWS provides three core benefits for demand forecasting and planning. First, an integrated data strategy that enables timely collection and harmonization of demand driver data from multiple sources, whether it's retailer order, point of sale systems, promotions, weather data, microeconomic data, syndicated data, and Amazon.com first-party and third-party data. Second, higher forecast accuracy through selecting the best algorithms for each product, customer segment, and demand profile. Machine learning algorithms deliver 5 to 10% greater accuracy, and we provide a way for in-house data science teams to deploy their own algorithms as well. Third, fast simulations to build consensus across your organization. You can run what-if simulations on promotions and other demand drivers to reach consensus with marketing on trade spend, align with finance on revenue goals, and coordinate with supply chain on production capacity. So I want to introduce you to Amazon SageMaker service. It is our no-code solution that makes machine learning forecasting accessible to everyone. When the tournament comes to our region this summer, you will face unique challenges like predicting demand spikes during match days, understanding how different game schedules affect your inventory needs, and planning for the influx of international visitors. Amazon SageMaker Canvas addresses these challenges through key four capabilities. First, it's highly accurate, training and deploying machine learning models up to 50% more accurate than traditional machine learning algorithms. For World Cup, this means you can forecast demand not just based on your historical sales data, but also factor in match schedules, team popularity, and local event calendars as well. The AutoML capability automatically selects the algorithm with highest accuracy using deep learning techniques that account for seasonality, item metadata, and related time series. And second, it requires no code. The service automatically sets up your data pipeline, training, and prediction while provisioning and cleaning resources. And as well as it is highly available across different AWS regions. As a small or medium business owner, you don't need to hire data scientists or learn programming language to prepare for this major event. And I think this is the most beneficial thing about SageMaker Canvas. Third, it is easy to use and integrate with no machine learning expertise required. You can easily integrate it into your existing data lakes, inventory, ordering, and other supply chain systems. It is also accessible via APIs. For example, you can connect your point of sale system data, add the World Cup match schedule, and factor in expected tourist arrival dates to Seattle to generate accurate forecasts. And fourth, you can quickly iterate, explore, and prepare data for machine learning-based forecasting without needing to bring your entire data architecture to AWS. Models are trained on your data, forecasts are customized to your needs, and you can leverage machine learning to optimize service levels. This means you can start small, perhaps forecasting for your top 20 products for World Cup weeks, and then expand as you see results. Next. So the point and click interface in Amazon SageMaker Canvas makes it simple to generate machine learning forecasts. You can upload your historical sales data, add information about promotions, events, seasonal factors, and the service automatically selects the best forecasting algorithm for you. You can get predictions at the product level, by location, by day. You don't need data scientists or machine learning expertise. It is a managed service that handles everything automatically. And this capability also allows you to ask critical business questions like, what is the impact on sales if I decrease prices? Or how do external factors impact demand? The interactive dashboards enable scenario planning so you can test different scenarios and strategies before implementing them. That reduces risk and improves decision making. You can also ask questions like, what size of t-shirts do I need to order, whether it's medium, small, etc. As for small and medium businesses, I can suggest that with the help of Amazon SageMaker Canvas, you can have smart inventory management. You can balance supply against projected demand. So this way you can avoid costly stockouts and excess inventory. And you can also plan for multiple different scenarios. So you can use quantile predictions instead of single point of forecast. This way you won't have single point of failure. Make data-driven decisions, replace guessworks with machine learning-powered insights, and minimize post-event surplus. I think it can be a big problem if you do overstock your products. I can share the 6 ways you can use forecasting for your business. First, reduce waste and markdowns by reducing over forecasting and excess inventory at each point in your supply chain. Second, improve in-stock rates and inventory turns. This way you can improve availability despite varying demand and capture additional revenue with less inventory on hand. Third, staff to meet demand by optimizing staffing and hiring decisions in physical stores, distribution locations, and support centers. Fourth, plan for new products by accurately predicting cold start demand for new product introductions. Fifth, sense demand with external factors by augmenting historical data with additional data that influences demand, such as weather, events, and related trends. Sixth, meet demand from pricing and promotions from incorporating past pricing and promotion events to estimate demand from future events. I would like to bring in an example. More Retail, it's one of the largest hypermarket and supermarket chains in India. They were able to reduce waste from fresh produce by 30% while improving in-stock rates from 80 to 90% using AWS services. Also, I would like to share some customer success stories. While these success stories are from global companies, but same applies to small and medium businesses as well. So first customer I want to talk about is a global food processing and packaging company. They faced challenges enhancing forecasting accuracy across various product categories in the e-commerce market for over 5 years, with issues integrating diverse data sources, maintaining data quality, and adapting to evolving market conditions. And we have a big partner ecosystems. They help our customers to implement the solutions. And one of them is Fractal. They helped develop a sophisticated forecasting solution using their AI-based platform, Forsient, which leverages AWS infrastructure. This enabled high accuracy forecasts at scale by integrating historical reporting and associated data with comprehensive data preprocessing, sanity checks, and data harmonization. The benefits included generating precise forecasts across multiple categories with accuracy ranging from 80 to 95%, leading to better inventory management, improved production planning, and enhanced strategic decision-making and market responsiveness. I think this customer success story is also really nice. It's about a Modern Milkman, which is a UK-based doorstep delivery company, which specializes in farm fresh milk and food products in plastic-free packaging. So during the pandemic, they had problems with exponential growth, managing inventory levels, demand predictions across grocery hubs, and maintaining their waste reduction mission. They partnered with Peak, an AWS partner, to implement an AI-driven forecasting solution leveraging AWS services. Their system uses warehouse data and shelf life information to streamline delivery operations and inventory management. The benefits have been remarkable. They eliminated 55 million plastic bottles from the environment, achieved minimal to no order substitutions, enabled up to 3 deliveries per week, improved supply chain efficiency, and attracted eco-conscious customers and quality employees, and positioned themselves for UK and US market expansion. As for small and medium businesses here in Seattle, I can suggest the 5-step implementation framework. First, I would suggest you to assess your current forecasting capabilities. Do you have historical data on your sales? Do you have historical data on your products? How long does it take to order a product? How long does it take for your order to come? Second, plan by developing a data-driven inventory strategy. Make sure you have all the data. It's really good if you have 2 to 3 years of historical data, but if not, you can also work with what you have. And then implement by deploying a machine learning-driven forecasting solution, monitor by tracking performance with real-time analytics, and adapt your strategy as events unfold. This structured approach ensures that you are prepared to capitalize on the World Cup opportunity while minimizing the risks. I would suggest to start the preparation and demand forecasting now because it can take time to prepare and to prepare for the event. After you make the forecast, it might take your time to order the products, etc. You might be wondering how you can start with AWS. If you are interested, we have AWS professional services, AWS support team, such as Countdown Premium. They are specifically were built for specific events such as World Cup, whether it's Prime Day, where you have demand surges. As well as AWS managed services. We have our partner solutions as well. If you are interested in any of these steps, please reach out to Marcus Schreiner, and I have his email address here on the slide as well as my own information, and we will be able to point you to the right direction. This is it from my side, and thank you for your time today. If there is any questions, I will respond them in the chat. So I'm going to pass it back to Marcus.
Thank you, Ajamal. Now, I realize that this is a lot of information and the tools you presented can be a little bit complicated at first and may take some time to implement. And so to help with this, AWS has built out a certified partner network with trusted organizations to provide guidance to businesses and help those navigate AWS solutions. We're fortunate today to be joined by one of our partners. I'd like to introduce Kamran and Bharat from Cloudtech to share a little bit more about their solution and how it's leveraged by businesses to prepare for large-scale events. Kamran and Bharat.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, everyone. My name is Kamran Adil. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I am the co-founder and CEO of Cloudtech. We are an AWS advanced tier partner based in New York City. What we are going to talk about is a challenge related to inventory management, which is the surge during the AWS during the FIFA World Cup that you will all encounter as a small and medium-sized businesses. So our solution that we have built is a conversational AI solution wrapped around using AWS services, which will help customers handle their customer service operations. This is one of the use cases that we are talking today, but Loro can do a lot more. What we have decided to do is give you a live demo in the small window of time that we have. So that is why we have Bharat with me. Once we do the live demo of this conversational AI solution, we can then talk a little bit about use cases and customer success stories that we have delivered for small and medium-sized businesses. It ranges from an inbound use case to an outbound use case in different industries, especially industries like restaurants, hospitality, merchandise providers, which are going to be very, very relevant across the FIFA World Cup season. So over to you, Bharat. I have my phone ready to give you the demo, but let's go.
Yeah, thank you. As you can imagine, for a large-scale event, we would want to leverage artificial intelligence to augment what you already do. So one of the advantage with AI is to be able to work alongside of your busy schedule. So we have built this demo. What you have to imagine is Kamran is a prospect or a potential customer of a commissary kitchen. And commissary kitchen, they get busy during a large event. So what would happen is that Kamran would get a call not from a human, but from an AI agent. and he will pretend to see if there is a rescheduling, potential changes to the schedule that a actual human would handle. And we'll see how in a live environment an AI agent would be able to handle such scenario. So I'm going to trigger the agent now, which will potentially call Kamran. And then the vice versa is also possible. Kamran can also call the agent and it'll be able to handle it. So Kamran, you should be getting the call now. Put it on speaker and we can take it.
Hello.
Seattle Commissary. How can I help you today?
So I was actually scheduled to be at your store, but I wouldn't be able to make it because I have some schedule changes. Can you able to help me reschedule this?
Hey, this is Alex from Seattle Commissary. I see your 3 p.m. slot at Jefferson Park is coming up, and I just wanted to check in. If you're not able to make it, no worries. I can help you reschedule. I've got a few options to keep your spot flexible. Would you like to explore a credit for a future booking? Or maybe we can move you to a different time this week. Let me pull that up for you. One sec.
Yeah, I would like to schedule for a different time this week, just that I wouldn't be able to make it this time.
All right, I've got you. Kamran, right?
Yep.
Let me check what's available this week at Jefferson Park. One sec. Just updating that. We've got a few openings Thursday at 11 a.m., Friday at 1 p.m., or Saturday at 10 a.m. Would any of those work for you? I can hold one of those for you if you're good to confirm now.
I can do Saturday, 10 a.m.
Great. I've got you locked in for Saturday at 10 a.m. at Jefferson Park. Just to confirm, that's your new booking, and I'll go ahead and update your schedule. I'll also apply a 50% credit to your account for the original slot. That way, you're covered if anything comes up again. One sec. Just sending that through. There you go. Your new slot's confirmed. Then the credit's been applied. You'll get a reminder SMS by Friday evening. You're all
Got it.
set.
Can you also help me with the directions of your store?
Absolutely. I'll send you the directions right away. Jefferson Park is located at 1234 15th Avenue South, Seattle, WA. It's just off the corner of South Jackson Street near the park entrance. There's a green sign with the Seattle Commissary logo, and we've got a dedicated parking area for members right behind the building. I'll also text you a quick map link. Should arrive in a minute. Let me know if you need help finding the front door when you get there.
Got it. No, thank you so much. Thank you. That's very helpful. And what is your usual hours of operation if I get late or anything?
You're very welcome, Kamran. Happy to help. Our usual hours at Jefferson Park are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. The front door is locked at 6 p.m. sharp, so if you're running late, I'd recommend arriving by 5:45 p.m. to make sure you can check in on time. If you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, it's best to give us a quick call. That way, we can hold your spot and avoid any issues. I'll also send a reminder SMS before your Saturday slot just in case. You got this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Take care. Bye.
You're so welcome, Kamran. Take care. And see you Saturday at 10 a.m. Have a great day.
Okay. So that was the conversational AI call. I hope that made sense to you. I also got all the text messages. So it sent me the link to the Google Maps to the location and also confirmed my appointment on the text message. So it's all working simultaneously as one solution piece. So I can answer more questions around this after I talk a little bit more about the use cases. Can I have the slides back on? So, okay, I need the next slide actually, next two slides. Can I control this here? Okay. So as you can see, this conversational AI solution is very much built for small and medium-sized businesses to handle the surge in FIFA-like events when you are getting so many phone calls for changing your appointment or directions or getting to the right places. You can think of multiple use cases of conversational AI. What we have put together here on this slide is basically very relevant use cases like order spikes, phone changing all of those reservations and all of those pieces. Now, the reason why we are talking about this is we understand that during FIFA, most of the businesses, small businesses, would be very, very busy in delivering for the customers or figuring out what are we going to sell to them or how we are going to fulfill all these orders. But then comes the customer service, which is very important to deal in that moment and track those calls, track those inbound, outbound calls. And this is where Loro, the conversational AI, comes in. Just to give you a perspective, we have been doing this from last year, and we have made more than 100,000 calls for different businesses all across. And usually for an outbound engine where we are calling for you on behalf of the business to these prospects, we get a connect rate of 8 to 25%, which is a usual cold calling kind of connect rate. But as I said, inbound doesn't have to have a connect rate. It will always connect to the agent, and your business, your partners, and your prospects can always talk to that agent. Now, this has been done over the last year. We have made sure that the quality has been improving every day that we are calling for these people, and the AI agent is more smart, is able to handle more queries at once, and take the conversation and customer service challenges from you and give it to an AI agent that is so easy to deploy. Again, these are some of the businesses that are very, very relevant during a FIFA kind of a World Cup. Hospitality, we have a use case. I think this slide is missing, but we are working with a hospitality provider called Monster Reservation Group. They have let me open my slide. So they have an outbound use case where we are calling and updating their call center, where we have updated 1.2 million calls per minute per month for them. And this has reduced drastically their operational overhead. This has reduced their churn for the business. They're able to set up more and sell more reservations for their business. We have another example in the merchandise provider where we have a business who wanted to sell ATM placements across their region, and we have made voice agent calls for them, and then they are getting almost 6 to 8 leads per day generated just from an AI agent calling on behalf of them. So these are some of the use cases that we have come across. Now, we have more use cases and more customers counting, which is what we can talk about in further slides. But the easy, how can you deploy this thing, right? Like how difficult it is. It's not that difficult. It's a simple use case that you have to pick. Loro is a production ready product. You just have to come to us, ask, okay, I have an inbound workflow, identify that workflow, that where you have the most call volume, where you want to automate that call volume, where it is a redundant call volume, which can be automated. We can also help you with multilingual support, which is also very important during FIFA. So let's say a customer is calling in a Spanish language and you don't understand, but the voice agent will understand and help you get the order through. So that's a very, very important piece to it. We can localize the language. It can understand multiple language at once and help you align all your business at one place. Now, choosing the first use case, then deploying that, and then seeing the success. Once you identify this use case works, we can add more use cases. It's very simple to deploy. It doesn't take 5 to 6 months of deployment. It's 5 to 4 weeks of deployment, depending on use case alignment and creating all the messaging, creating on the workflow, and then ready to go. So that's all we have for you today. If you have more questions across Loro as a conversational AI, happy to answer any of those. And over to you, Marcus, now.
Thank you, Kamran and Bharat, and thank you all again for having us today. I know it was a lot of information condensed in a short amount of time, but I hope that you found it helpful, and maybe you're able to hear one thing that you can leverage as you look towards preparing for the massive event that is the World Cup. We'd love to hear your feedback. Was this helpful? Was this something that you'd like to learn a little bit more about? Do you have any questions? Any of the above, please don't hesitate to reach out at our information on the slide. That's what we're here for, and we want to make sure that we're here to support you as we get ready for this event. Amy, I'll go ahead and pass it to you. I think we had a little bit of time for some questions left over.
Yeah, I didn't see any questions, but I wanted to give it a second in case people wanted to think about it. Well, this is really cool while we're waiting for a question or just wrapping up, I guess. Very fascinating to hear about how you can use these tools to help you manage your inventory, but also it was manage the workload on your team as this is coming up, right? That's going to be a lot. Not a lot of us have big teams to do all of this. So love that. And the multiple languages in the agent. So I guess I don't have to break out my Duolingo and try to learn too many languages. Sounds like this tech can help me. And well, instead of like stammering through someone's beautiful language. So with that, I think we do have one question. Let's see. Yeah, is there a minimum size of business that makes economic sense to use Laura, and what is the pricing?
Yeah, great question. So there is no minimum size. I mean, we are also working with founders directly who have just one or two member in their team. We have deployed Loro for them. Loro's pricing, I can share a landing page in the link. It talks about the pricing. It's very straightforward. It's a subscription and not a huge lift on the small and medium sized businesses. We have kept the pricing very nominal, keeping SMBs in mind. I can share the link there.
Great, thank you. Okay. I think that was our main question here. And just a reminder to everyone, as the Amazon team said, there's a lot here, but we're recording it as well. So you can always go back and watch and just take some extra notes and be like, oh, what was that thing I wanted to learn a little bit more about? So just want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. We appreciate you. We appreciate your partnership and sharing some really cool tools that can help our small businesses really hopefully be successful during the World Cup. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah. And so now I'm going to invite Eric Manegold to join us. Eric, could you turn on your video so we can see you? Yeah. There you are. All right, we got Eric. Eric, so good to see you this morning. Thank you
Well,
for
thank you.
joining us.
Thank you.
So Eric and I are going to have a little chat. Eric is the owner of Central Saloon in the heart of Pioneer Square. For those of you not familiar, the Central hosts over 400 local and touring bands every year. Also hosts viewing for major sporting events in Seattle. So very busy down there in Pioneer Square. So we wanted to chat with you because you're doing with us all the time. Like you got big sporting events that have happened, there's concerts, all kinds of things. So we thought, what better than to talk to a pro who is down there doing this right now? So, Eric, I know I gave a quick overview, but just wanted to first start with you introducing yourself a little bit, the business, and then just sharing how those big sporting events impact your business on the regular.
Well, I'm a co-owner of the club. My partner Guy has had the club for 30 years, and we've been partners for about 10. Um, we survived COVID, and when we did survive COVID, our business was kind of organic, pre-cell phone. I mean, we've been around, the building's been around since 1892, and the club has been open for decades. And we're open 365 days a year. So we haven't had to do much on the technology side because it's pretty much a passive business. If times are good and people are happy, they come in. Times are bad, they come in too. But uh, to plan for these big events, instead of just kind of sitting back and see what happens, we've begun a really good program of forecasting who's in town, how do we pair the music with the people that are attending? A big X Games event at the stadium is a lot different than a Taylor Swift concert. Um, if Metallica's playing, we better not have Lawrence Welk in the band. I mean, we have to we have to use our heads on what we're doing. But
Mhm.
to answer your question in how we prepare for these events, the inventory thing was a great question, a great subject for this. We're fortunate in the fact that we purchased the building after COVID. because we thought the club was going to go away. The family that had the building, the trust said they were going to sell it because COVID was just terrible on people.
Mhm.
So we purchased the building, so now we don't have to leave. So that put us in a different mindset of how we could approach our business to stay, not just to survive, but to actually proactively do a much better job in finding out what's going on out there. You got to stick your head out on the sidewalk and see what is happening. And so with all the things that everybody talked about here today, we're trying to use the technology available and affordable to us to basically get the word out. Now, as far as inventory goes, I think it's like surge pricing for Lyft and everything else. When you're going to have a lot of people in town, you got to have a lot more inventory so you don't run out. But we're fortunate because we have cooler space upstairs, but we also have a big cooler downstairs. And because the beer companies have huge warehouses, as the liquor companies do, and they have trucks that service us, if we run out, we can get our orders in to get replenished the next day. Or we order more than we normally do, and we have the capacity to keep it serve ready at the temperatures necessary if that happens. And if we don't have the surge we expect, then we have inventory that we can slowly dissipate and sell as we go. I hope
That's
that
great.
answered your question.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is kind of building off a little bit with what I Jamal had talked about too in those 5-step plans is figuring out how quickly you can get stuff, that inventory, and what could stay for a while, right? What's something you could use that if you thought it
That's
was going to
right.
go one way, it didn't, but you're like, we could still use the beer. We'll figure out how to get rid of the beer at some point, right? So I'm curious if you could share a little bit more based on those ebbs and flows. One thing that thinking about past event days, things that like you're like, we made this decision and man, that was the right call, or or I should say, oh no, we thought we made this inventory decision and it went wrong. Just sharing like lessons you've learned on the good and the bad and somewhere in the middle.
Well, we don't deviate too much from the primary items we need. Uh, People expect what they get at the Central. I mean, we're known as a dive bar. When you walk into a dive bar, you're not going to order the most expensive cognac in the world.
Right.
You know, so with that, it makes it easier for us, even though we're considered a dive bar. We're clean. It's a good place. It's warm and all that stuff. So we don't have that sophisticated piece of the puzzle that we have to solve, trying to figure out what to pair things with. Now, we did have a meeting yesterday, and I said, I wonder what the international soccer fan likes to eat and
Yeah.
likes to drink. Those are questions that
Mhm.
we would like so we have something represented. But since we have teams coming from all over the world and fans coming from all over the world, somebody told me the other day, somebody from the city said, we could see 750,000 fans come to Seattle.
Yeah.
And only about 60% of them, I don't know for sure if that's the percentage, get to see the game, but they
Mhm.
come for the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, our capacity is about 190 inside, and we have a little patio out in front on First Avenue if you've ever been there. So we can only get so many people in there, but it's the hours of operation that we would have people inside that we need to serve. So probably our biggest challenge is staff more than it is inventory. And because of the price of minimum wage going up and the changes in the economic structure of everything, it's really hard to just overstaff because the cash burn is critical. That's why so many people are going out of business.
Mhm.
So how do we approach that? And that's pretty much dedicate ourselves and say, we're dedicated to this. We're going to have this staff. We want people to have good service. So it's a blend of self-service and table service. But I think as far as the inventory goes, which is the theme of this meeting, I think we're in pretty good shape that way because we can have above our normal limits on hand, and if we need more, we can call and get it the next day.
So
Hopefully,
I also heard you. Yeah, hopefully. I also heard you speaking to a little bit of doing some homework on the crowds that were going to be coming. Part of what you said, like people are coming here to experience Seattle, right? So we want to make sure they have that Seattle vibe, but maybe some things that might make them feel really comfortable, like a familiar food or, or some variation of it. Just curious, I'm going off the questions a little bit off the tracks. Just curious if your team is thinking about how can we take what we already have and maybe put a twist on it, or are there ways that you're maybe thinking about your menu being a little more abbreviated, for example, to make sure, to your point, that your staff can handle that large crowd and your customers are getting their food in a timely manner?
Well, to that point, we changed our entire food process and kitchen stuff many months ago. The city of Seattle was very adamant about their support of going electric with our with stuff. So we got rid of all of our gas appliances. We're all electric. So we work with a very large food distribution organization that have chefs, and they can help us, and we can switch our food fare up really quickly. So if there's a little bit more international flair and something that's accepted, out there, we're going to probably look for it and add it to the menu. And we can do that really fast with what we use. So on the food side, that's it. On drinks are pretty international, you know. We can do Heineken, we could do any of that stuff. And as far as liquor goes, liquor and soft drinks, they just kind of Coca-Cola and for non-alcoholic drinks. And we like to support the Seattle group too. Anything we can get from the Seattle area, we do. So that helps there.
I think that's a great tip to talk to maybe your distributors and see what they have available that could be, playing to that crowd a little bit more, but still have a Seattle vibe to it. And how quickly you can get that food. I love that tip. Thank you. Um, I think I got a couple more questions for you. I Oh, sorry, I guess what would be some advice if, I were, let's say, Amy's Bakery, and my staff knows I always joke about Amy's Bakery is the example. I don't really have a bakery, but if I were a bakery and I were or a restaurant or a small business, based on what you've seen in terms of, surges for game days and, the all the big things that have happening, what are some like pieces of advice for businesses who are maybe a little bit newer to this, that might be help them navigate some of those lines of like dealing with the surge of crowds and inventory and planning for that?
Well, it's kind of interesting because your business is really supported by locals. And
Mm.
sometimes when you have big events, locals don't come down. So now you've got to try to attract people you don't know that may not even
Mm.
know you're there. So we use social media the best we can. So when people come in, but your establishment's got to have a theme. There's got to be something they want to go to. So we're the birthplace of grunge. And as an example, at 11 o'clock the other day, I had a family of 5 people come in. They bought $200 worth of merchandise at 11 in the morning with no one in the bar. And I said, thank you so much. And I said, where do you guys travel from? One man was from Portland. The other guy, I said, what, and where did you come from? He says, I came from Dubai. I said,
Mm.
Dubai? And he says, yeah. He says, I'm a grunge fan. And I've always wanted to come to the Central because I know these bands played there. So we are working hard to brand ourselves as the birthplace of grunge. And people come there. We have a shrine for all the guys that played the Nirvanas and all the bands that played there. We have a big. It's kind of like a museum in a way because we have all the posters and everything on the wall. People come in from all over the world just to stand and look. So we see the World Cup as a surge in that fan base coming in. So we're doing the best we can to prepare the best way we can. One thing we are doing is on the infrastructure side, replacing all of our coolers, all of our evaporators and condensers to keep things cool and not break down during this time. So it's not only having the inventory, but keeping the inventory in good serving condition, which is another piece of the puzzle. And you want to get on that early because it's hard to get help in Seattle. It's not hard to get help. You just have to schedule things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't want to be caught in the middle of a big crowd and something goes sideways. So yeah, for sure. So I heard a couple of tips in there, digging into your local roads, knowing who you are, using that uniqueness about being from Seattle and what is the vibe there, to draw people in, which, like we said earlier, work with your food distributors or your distributors in general and find that local flair. That's a nice tie between something that will appeal to visitors, but also just being Seattle, right? And then
right.
also planning out ahead of time and then checking all the machinery, making sure all those things are up to par. So, great. Well, any last thoughts, Eric, before I let you go?
Well, I've traveled all over the world. I think Seattle is one of the most beautiful cities there is ever, anywhere. And our new waterfront and all the tourists that come to town, because this is your business as a chamber, is to how do we shine a light on how fantastic it is? And I think everyone in this city needs to get the message out that we're safe, we're beautiful, we're welcoming, and we're going to have a great time at this event. And if we just convey that, our inventory will move and people will come back, and that's what we want.
I couldn't have wrapped it up better than that, Eric. That's perfect. Yes, we have a lot to be proud of, and we have a lot of wonderful people in our community and a beautiful city. So, thanks again, Eric, for your
You're
time.
welcome.
I really appreciate you sharing your on-the-ground stories, and your perspective. With that, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up and say thanks again to our Amazon team and Eric for all of your insights and taking the time to share what you know with our members and the larger community, of course. And just a reminder that this is recorded, so it will be on YouTube probably by the end of the week. So you can always go back, look at it, share it with other people you think might benefit from it. With that, I'm just going to say thank you to everyone and have a great day.
Thank you. And
Thank
go
you.
Seahawks.